Perfection.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's me, your pretty boy next door, Midnight, and today I'm back with yet another deck guide. I had a poll on my channel recently where I let you guys decide which warlord you would like to see next, and Vulcan won that one, but Fulgrim was very close, so today we're gonna play the sexiest, genetically enhanced, genocide committing, superhuman soldier of the Emperor. He's one of my favorite warlords. Why? Because he's very satisfying to play, and he has two distinct playstyles, so to say. You can play him so and so. You can play him aggressively, but you can play him patiently and wait for your whispers. And this is what we're trying to do. We want to trigger perfection every turn. In case you didn't know, perfection is the mechanic of the Emperor's Children. If you spend the exact amount of energy which you have left on the card to play the card gets a certain benefit. Like here, it deals 1 extra damage. If you don't play it with perfection, it just tells the enemy just to take Divisionary Tactics as an example. So with Fulgrim to achieve his whispers, we need to trigger perfection as much as we can to make this playable. So what's this deck about? We are not as fast as Saul, we are not as aggressive as Lucius, but yeah, we kind of mitigate that by having that backup Whispers. His Whispers is you basically transform into the Rape Snake, his demonic form, and you can swing health for 6 every turn. It's pretty good. It's not game winning per se, but it's certainly really strong, so we kind of aim for that. But as mentioned, we also can play the usual Emperor's Children fast game by ramping out into big stuff too early with tactical brilliances and so on, just overwhelming your opponent, so to say, keeping the board clean with their excellent tactics. So Warlord is Fulgrim, high initiative, pretty good. His ability isn't half bad. You get a random Emperor's Children tactic in your hand. It's fine. We always use that turn 1. We don't have another turn 1 play. You can of course use Drilling Sight to ramp into a 3-drop, but I wouldn't suggest that because you run out of cards. And Fulgrim's ability is good because you actually fill your hand, and since he's a Primarch with high initiative, it's pretty good to fill your hand. Yeah, it's good to have to play something when not having to play anything and sitting around with 2 cards and a 5 energy turn or something, yeah? So yeah, turn 1 always uses the ability, just pray you don't get fall experiments. Almost all Emperor's Children tactics find their use more or less. And yeah, besides that, he's just a 40 HP buddy with high initiative, and that's pretty good. His ability can also be used to help with the perfection mechanic. So if you are on 6 energy, for example, and have an 8-agent squad, then use his ability, then play the 8-agent squad for perfection. So, first card on my list here is the Drilling Sight. Why do we play this? Obviously, it's pretty good to ramp into your big threats. We have a lot of those 1 turn earlier. Easy as that. Besides that, we want as much energy manipulation as possible to be able to trigger perfection as much as we can. So, for example, if you are on 7 energy and you have an enhanced warrior in hand, you don't have another 1 energy card, you play Drilling Sight, then you use Fulgrim's ability to add a tactic to your hand, and then you play the enhanced warrior with perfection. Again, multiple uses here. You can use it to ramp into something a bit earlier, or you can use it in later turns to trigger perfection more easily. Next up is of course Tactical Brilliance. This goes in every Emperor's Children deck. It's a very good card. You basically spend 2 cards to play something for a cost of 2 less. Of course you want to use this to ramp into big stuff 1 turn earlier. Always keep this in starting hand. And the first thing you want to ramp in is probably the Enhanced Warrior. Don't ever use this on hold at all cost, because yeah, you will pay 3 for it, but it will refill only 3 energy, yeah? It works with Drilling Sight. You can use hold at all cost with Drilling Sight, so in your 4 energy turn, because you will have 1 extra energy for the whole turn, but don't ever use this on hold at all cost. Besides that, you can combo cool stuff with that. For example, we have Cacophony Commander in here. His weakness is obviously his 4 attacks, so he can get Melgator, or if you're in the mirror match, he can be killed by the Hammer of Justice. And what you want to do, for example, if you're on 7 energy, you want to play the Hall of Rights here. Yeah, this is what it's for, basically, to buffer stuff up. And you play Tactical Brilliance into the Cacophony Commander, so you don't necessarily have to use this to ramp into big stuff. You can just use it to pull off combos a bit earlier. Next up is the Arbor Slider. I think this is an excellent card for this type of deck. Of course you can use it to cycle, but why it is really good is because it costs 1 energy, and we can use this to like dump 1 energy and then trigger perfection again on 7 energy, for example, play an Arbor Slider, then play the Enhanced Warrior, or like a bootleg Drilling Sight, so to say. Again, Halls of Rights and Cacophony Commander, you are on 8 energy, you play the Hall of Rights, then Arbor Slider into Cacophony Commander, you refill 2 energy with that, and you have like 9 energy on your 8 energy turn. You got the idea, it's used for combos, and in some situations in the early game, if you have nothing to play, you can of course use this just to cycle, if you have that spare energy. Command Bridge, I was on the verge of scrapping that, but still you need to fish for those informant networks. And we also have, of course, Pride of the Emperor in this deck, and this returns back the deck if you trigger the perfection. So you can like play Pride of the Emperor on 1 turn, then Command Bridge, and instantly get it back in your hand. So more or less a vital card here, because the combo is pretty nasty. You can kind of set up lethal over 2 turns with that. All of Rights. Yeah, this is also not that great, but as mentioned, we have a Cacophony Commander in here, And I really like this in later turns. I usually don't play this turn 2 unless I have really nothing else to play. This usually gets Melgator, or it gets face bashed twice and then it dies. It maybe gives 1 Mark of Chaos. But yeah, we want to play like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to play perfectly every turn, and this kind of helps. I really wanted to have something turn 2 to play. But as mentioned, if you have alternatives like the last rifle section or Sork or whatever, don't play this. I'll wait until the late game until you can really come with like Call of Frights into an Adachin squad or whatever. But if you have the Adachin squad in hand, of course, play it turn 2. As mentioned, it's possible to play it early game, but where it really shines is later in the game to trigger perfection and to instantly buff up troops, because then usually it also gets ignored and sticks around. Also, another cool combo is the Utica squad. If this gets something like the Terra Mark, it's muy bien. Next up in Foreman Network, this is my anti-stealth take of choice. I was a bit split between Arcadius to trigger perfection because he like costs 1 energy and this, but I think I'm still running in Foreman Network because there's still Defenders of Caliban, and go white decks are kind of a problem for us because they don't have any effective AoE in this deck. You can of course put something in, but we come to that later. So I decided for Informant Network because at least it clears Jaegers if you have the Defense of Caliban matchup. Last rifle section. No real purpose here, I just think this is a very good 3-drop here. You can trade into something like the Ormar veterans on curve, so you ping them into a face bash. Besides that, it's just one of the best 3-drops in the game still, neutral. And we, as mentioned, wanted to play something every turn, and I wanted to have something with a turn 2 play, and this is going to be last rifle here. Sork! Also just something to play turn 2, but he has another purpose. He helps us trigger perfection in the later turns, so he's good early game. Yeah, we just play him, and he's the Blizzardist, so the enemy warlord has to use his troops or tactics to deal with him. In the later stages of the game, when you top deck, his ability isn't that great. You can get something like Manifest Destiny in really tricky situation, and it's pretty cool, but his ability costs 1 energy, and that's why you want him. You want to spend that extra energy to generate a card and trigger perfection more easily. So for example, you're on a 5 energy turn, you got an Adachin squad, you got Sork out, just use this ability and then you can play the Adachin squad with perfection. And as mentioned, in this deck we want to trigger perfection as much as possible for Fulgrim's Whispers. Next up is the Adachin squad. Not much to say here, this is just an excellent card. For energy 3 deal to damage, this is kind of a basic stat line for many legions, but on perfection it also stuns the target, so excellent card here, no reason not to run 2. Longinus is also pretty good, it's just a 4 energy nuke. For energy deal for damage, also many of that, and with perfection we also draw a card. You can play this on curve just on the enemy's face to cycle, or you can clear something with that. Chaplain Charmosian. So this is like Call of Rights, but a bit better in my opinion, and the only 5-drop we have, that's why he's in here. I was also a bit skeptical about him because you need a board for him to be effective, but there are some really cool combos for hold at all costs. Like you play hold at all costs, you get an Adachin squad beforehand, he stuns something, so basically they usually tend to stick because the enemy warlord isn't able to act, or you stun something else. And you follow up the political cost, drop 3 cards, and then drop a Chaplain Charmosian, for example. He's also here more or less because of the Cacophony Commander to help this guy survive. On 9 energy, you can play him with Technical Brilliance, like Cacophony Commander, then Technical Brilliance into Chaplain Charmosian, or on 10 energy with Arbor Sliders, Energy Refills, or Drilling Sights. Just keep in mind, don't play the Drilling Sights when you're on 10 energy, because then it doesn't do anything. Play your card first, and then play Drilling Sight. Next up is Utica Squad. I usually run only one of those, but currently because of all the Space Wolves I run 2, they're pretty good. Like if they survive, they draw you a card. If not, they're 5 energy, 5 damage flanker, and that's pretty fair. Only 4 health, but it suffices. Hold at all costs now. This got nerfed twice already, but it's still very good. Essentially, it's 0 energy, draw 3 cards, and that's why it's in the stack. There are no particular combos here, but you can just play this and hope for something to draw a Drilling Sight into Enhanced Warrior, or a Technical Brilliance into Sartarian Terminators. Just a very good card, no reason not to run it. Enhanced Warrior, this is one of our first big hitters. The goal is obviously to ramp him with Technical Brilliance, so play him on your 4 energy turn. You can also play him on your 3 energy turn with Drilling Sights, but then you spend 3 cards, so stay cautious, but sometimes it's pretty good. The Enhance is pretty random, so you can give Survivor 2, Ward, Frontline, Cleave 2, and Flank, I believe. I think these were all the enhances. And, well, if you're 6, he can completely go out of control. But even if you don't manage to ramp him out early and play him on your 6 energy turn, it's still a threat. It's going to be a 6/6 for 6 with an effect like Survivor or Ward if you're lucky, and it needs to be immediately checked because otherwise it can run out of control. Cacophony Commander, yeah, only 1 copy because it's still fairly situational, but this can completely mess up your opponent. It's random as fuck, yeah, it can backfire, it can do nothing, or it can mess up your opponent completely. The effect is completely random and also ignores stuff like Precognition, Frontline, Stealth, it doesn't give a shit, and yeah, your opponent can kill yourself, but sometimes it doesn't do anything. It's only 1 copy, it's only good in certain matchups, but currently against Night Lords, against Space Wolves, this is pretty good. If you play him, you want to be really cautious with him, you want to keep him alive, like don't attack with him. And he's also the reason why I run Hall of Rights and Chaplain Chamosian more or less, because buffing him and getting him out of that 4 attack range is just pretty important, I think, because he has mentioned there's Melgator, there's Hammers of Justice, and we don't want that to happen. That loses to the game most of the time. Perfection's Flight, this is the hard removal of your Emperor's Children. One copy here because it can come in handy. Try to trigger Perfection because otherwise it's just pretty bad outflank. Pride of the Emperor, pretty good. You can use this as a finisher, but you don't necessarily have to keep it in your hand like Contrador and just play this as a finisher. You can clear stuff with that. Just keep in mind that you need to spend 7 energy on it at the beginning for it to return into your deck. Just do it. It's fine. As long as it's in your deck, it's okay, yeah? You don't have to be super greedy with this card, so to say. Just use it when it's suitable. When your opponent has a 7 health group like Captain Missandei or something from Ultramarines, just use it on that if you don't happen to have Perfection's Flight or whatever. Don't be greedy with this card. If it turns back to your deck, as long as you can trigger the Perfection. Sartarian Terminators, yeah, if you ramp these guys, it's pretty nasty. Your opponents use mostly hard removal on that. They're super tanky. They will always trade into something and get their shield back with the Battle Honor. So your opponent, yeah, really has sometimes difficulties to deal with those. Excellent troop, no reason not to run to. Eidolon, he's a really hard hitter, and I actually like his Perfection. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to play him in Saul or in Lucius, in my opinion. There are better options, but I really like him because of his Perfection. And he's just the killer against knights, he's the killer against space wolves. If they can't deal with him, like if you don't have any reason to go some curve, you can just disable that knowing Gegor for the rest of the game. And if he hits him twice, well, that's 18 damage, so pretty good here in my opinion, besides the Perfection. And the last card here is the Hammer of Justice, one of my favorites. It got reworked, and now it's basically a Melgator tank. That's why I call it most of the time, because in Perfection it destroys a random enemy troop before last attack. When you're up against Raven Guard and they play that more Dathan, and then you follow up with something Tackle, Brilliance, or Drilling Sight, depending if you went first or second, and then Hammer of Justice, it just feels so good, man, yeah? Besides that, just play it when it's suitable. Don't be too greedy with this card. Only use this cautiously when you're up against Raven Guard, because there you really want to wait for that more Dathan for it to drop. Most decks play this card, I think. Don't be too greedy with it. But yeah, in some matchups you kind of know what your opponent's playing more or less, so keep that in mind. Alright, that's the deck. That's a mid-range Perfection, Whispers, Fulgrim, whatever. And as usual, if you don't agree with some of my card choices, or if you're missing some of these cards, I got some card alternatives for you. There are a lot, yeah? This is just my build, you don't have to play it this way. This is not the perfect Fulgrim, I think, because there are a lot of good card options, and let's go over a couple of those. So first of all, I got the Mercenary Tactics. It got nerfed previously, it was drawing a card in Perfection, now it just deals 1 damage. Drawing a card is obviously better, but I still think it's fine. You can use it to disable something for 1 turn, for 1 energy, that's pretty good. Besides that, it works as a Perfection trigger because it costs 1 energy, like Sork or Arrow Sled, so I explained it multiple times, so you got the idea. Next up is the Unbreakable Focus. I don't run any buff cards here because I don't think we really need that. It's kind of win more in my opinion. We don't swarm the board, we just have 1 or 2 big hitters usually on the board. If you want to run a buff card, they have a couple. They have like Foul Experiments, which is terrible, don't play that. And they have the Ruined Palace, which only works on the starters. But yeah, it gives a Mark of Chaos, so it's slightly better than Unbreakable Focus on the starters. But Unbreakable Focus buffs everything you have equals to, so if you want to play one of those Emperor's Children buff cards, I would play Unbreakable Focus. But keep in mind, Fulgrim generates random tactics, and there are 3 of those buff cards as mentioned, and he will likely generate one of those at some point. Next up is Unrestrained Cruelty. If you want, you can play this instead of Last Rifle Section, for example. I don't think it's half bad. 3 energy, 3 damage is fair, and it punches through shields and Survivor. The heal, yeah, it's just a nice bonus. Not a bad card, so feel free to run it if you want. Next up is Mikhail's Jetbikes. You see those a lot, but I think they are better for a more aggressive approach. I just didn't find place for them here. I don't know, you play them on 4, yeah, sure, they trade into Balak or something, they kill that. But besides that, they are sometimes kind of awkward. Like, you play them on curve, and then you smash into the enemy face. Yeah, you deal 5 damage, that's obviously great. But then, I don't know, he just pings them on face bashes into them, and you have no board left. So Adochin is kind of better in my opinion. It's still a good card, don't get me wrong, it's also a very potent finisher, but I don't know, I didn't feel like playing it in here. Still a good card I would suggest to run. Then Ignomen, this would be an alternative for the Enhanced Warrior. It's again a more aggressive approach, it has more attack than the Enhanced Warrior, but less health. And on rally it always does the same, yeah, in Enhanced Warrior it's a bit random, like you can get Cleave or Frontline or some crap, or Warded Survivor. Ignomen always does the same, but I like Enhanced Warrior more because he's just more tanky, more durable, And if you want a more aggressive and more consistent approach, you can play the Ignomen instead. Rylanor, oh man, this is a great card on paper, of course. 4/7 shield, the stats are fair, and yeah, we have so much perfection in here, and he buffs all those troops who play with perfection. But this card loses you games. I was running him a lot, and the amount of times this got Melgatort or Hammer of Justice was it's obnoxious, man. It happens so often it lost me games. Just because you invest like so many resources into a 4 attack troop. Yeah, and I'm saying that while running Cacophony Commander who has even worse stats for 6 energy troop. But yeah, if your opponent can't answer Cacophony Commander, he can completely lose the game because of this card. Rylanor is just nice. He isn't as fucked as Cacophony Commander, so I run Cacophony Commander over Rylanor. Rylanor himself, he doesn't do the turn he comes into play, so I skipped on him, but you still can run him, but trust me, it's on your own risk. And then some neutral cards. We don't have any AoE, so you can run some death sides. I really hate death sides, so I don't run them because they always roll low for me, or if they don't need to roll low, they roll high. So yeah, it's a random as fuck card, but this would be my AoE of choice. There's also the Corrupted Battleship for the Emperor's Children, but I don't know, I don't like it that much. If you see a lot of Combateers, you can also include the Corrupted Battleship. But I think that set is just the card of choice here. Then we get Melgator, he's always good. We can use him to bounce around stuff like Last Rival Sections or the Aetian Squad, or even the Michaelis jetpacks if you run those to reuse them. But yeah, for Tempo Swings, we have Hammer of Justice twice. Like, this guy is waiting for those 4 attack troops, not Melgator, so a bit of an overkill, but you can still include him, of course. Then we get Corvial Zeth. This would be my alternative for Eidolon, because it's also an 8 energy troop, but simply better in my opinion. I still think Eidolon is better in the current meta, and he has perfection, so it helps us with the Whispers, but nonetheless, Corvial Zeth is a solid pick. Next up is Kaiser Lane. He is like Sork, yeah, but just 1 energy, so he will also help us to trigger perfection. And the tactics from Kaiser Lane tend to be more useful than the stuff we get from Sork, but he has only 2 health, we have no means to protect him. Any source of 2 damage will kill him, a quickfire, Gegor ability. So Sork was my choice as a random card generator, so to say. Next up is Fierce Onslaught. Yeah, this would be an also pretty good AoE substitute, but it only works in 2 scenarios. The first one is you have a Sidarian Terminator on board and your opponent has a lot of troops. Then you play it on Sidarian Terminator, it kills everything, gains shield every time it kills something, and then you can slam it also in the enemy's face, yeah, and then you clear the complete board. The second scenario is when something gets a terror mark. Yeah, the mark of Slanesh plus 1 attack and terror, like the Utica squad from Hall of Rights. Then give it Fierce Onslaught, then it kills the whole board and draws you 3 cards or something. Yeah, that's pretty cool, but it is very, very situational. So only 2 scenarios where this card would come and play. I play it in Night Lord decks, and also there it's fairly situational where you have all those troops of terror. So you can play that if you want to be funny, but be cautious. Next up is Malkiel. This would be a pretty good turn 1 play instead of using your ability. Problem is we have no means to protect him, and we also skip a card generation turn. And if we're going first, you end up with 2 cards. So unless you have a really perfect curve, you can like then ramp into a Longinus or an Aetherchen squad, then an Charmosian. Then it's pretty good, of course. Yeah, then Malkiel shines, but you really need the perfect hand for Malkiel to shine, and it doesn't happen too often. Most of the time he won't do anything and then get killed by a Punitive Strike or something. And last but not least, I got Jupik Starsight here. This is also just a good 3-drop in my opinion. You can play him instead of Sork if you don't like my idea of him triggering perfection. As a card generator, he's obviously better than Sork. He doesn't have the Plishidus, and we don't have any means to protect him, so I still decided to go with Sork. But yeah, as a card generator, as mentioned, Jupik Starsight is better in this deck for perfection triggers, and in terms of protecting your troops, Sork is better. So yeah, that's the deck. Some alternative cards for you, and now we're gonna jump into ladder. I'm currently, yeah, rank 21, and I'd say let's jump into some games. Raum. I don't know. Informant Network, I don't really need that. Hammer of Justice is cool, but it will come in too late since I'm going second. I'm just gonna keep the Technical Brilliance. Okay, I was writing for someone. Let's do Unrestrained Cruelty here. And smash into this one. I could have also ramped into Enhanced Warrior or something. Shut the fuck up! Okay, but now I could still ramp. Um, let's just clear this board here. Yeah, he killed that, but whatever. It's still important to get rid of all those cultists. That's not too strong. I'm just gonna play an enhanced warrior here, I think. Yeah, looks like it. So drilling side into a warrior. Ward is pretty good. Flank would have been better probably, but yeah, whatever, it's fine. Face. I mean, okay. Here's the Hammer of Justice. So let's get rid of that. And Hammer of Justice. Pretty good draw. Pretty good draw here. Why is he going face? I mean, he's done, I guess. Good game. Emperor's Children for you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. Okay, that was a pretty good draw though. Ooh. Okay. Let's get it. Don't need 8 to Gen. Alpha Slider early game is also not that important. Okay, that's a good curve at least. Arahoon, or whatever it's called, it's not that great though. Okay, that's a cut. Let's Unbreakable Focus again. Okay, it doesn't do anything here. Into supply lines, okay. Fine, let's play the Adachin then. This is also a pretty good card, I think. To trigger Perfection. But 2 health, man. I don't know. But yeah, add that to... yeah, that sucks. That sucks a bunch. Okay. Let's play Temperature Mosian, I guess. No rally effect. But... still better than nothing. He will gem this anyway, I think. Yeah. It's fine though. Still a 5-5. Alright. So the jam hurt a little bit, but it is as it is. And this is gonna kill that at some point, in 2 turns I suppose. Let's just play the Enhanced Warrior. And do this. I'm not gonna face bash. Because this is still an undecided game. Right? I mean, this is pretty good against me, but... it doesn't really help him besides that. And what's that? Okay. So let's play Sork, Arahoon, or let's just play the Arm Slider. Unbreakable Focus. Kill that. And faces the place. And next time I've just to finally get rid of the fucking Watcher. Yeah. And what's that? Hammer of Justice. I see. I see. So, well, let's get rid of his thingy there. We're gonna take 7. But it is as it is. Getting close to those whispers at least. So, what up? Play something. Okay. I can take that. Oh! Yeah, but we're not gonna play this. We're gonna play Eutychus. Draw a card. And just Longinus to the face, I think. Or Erahoon? Longinus? Let's Longinus. Drilling side. Okay. Not gonna face bash, we're still somewhat low here. So next time I can Cacophony Commander, Drilling side, hold will cost, for example. And that's the Perfection slide, I guess. Yeah. Fine. So, let's play the Cacophony Commander. Drilling side. Hold will cost. 1, 2, 3. Pretty good. Let's refill to energy. And play Enhanced Warrior. Frontline. Okay. That's not too health bad, I guess. We got the Whispers down to 9 already. Alexis Nebula. Okay. And a second Hammer of Justice. Okay, so I'm probably gonna Perfection Slide that, I guess. Am I right? Let's get a... 8th gen, I guess? Yeah, or Terminators. Look at the Terminators. Generate another card. Oh, Perfection Slide again. Let's use this one. Filling side, okay. And hit the face. So this is gonna be a Whisper game. Here's the Cacophony Commander, but I get the Hammer of Justice. Except if you play the Chamosian or something here. Does he have a Chamosian? Oh, fuck. Okay. I still can Perfection Slide it. But I'm gonna try to be funny here. Like, do this. Building side. Hammer of Justice. Perfect. Yeah, 50-50. Otherwise, I would have used just Emperor's Perfection Slide, I mean. Still not that big of a deal. Yeah, and this should be game. Yep. No Whispers. But as a backup plan, that will be pretty good. Alright. Oh, daily mission. My strength returns. Okay, off to the next one. Perturabo! This is where we really want those Whispers. I'm gonna keep hold at all costs. That's pretty good in the starting hand.
No one ever cared to find out my dreams.
Oh.
Show them to me. Let me make them real.
It's kind of sad to hear. Alright. Last rival section. Let's just play in curve here. No need to face bash him. Yeah, of course, has a precision bombardment. Kinda sucks. It doesn't face bash, okay. Let's Longinus. As mentioned, let's just play in curve here. Trigger those Whispers. Okay, I can kill that. So let's play all costs. 1, 2, 3. Pretty good. And Eutychus, I guess. I could also play Enhanced Warrior. And I have 8 cards in hand, so that's fine. The Sork, okay. Got a pretty full hand here. And okay, it goes to 5. I still gonna play Sork. Yeah, let's play Sork, Drilling Side, and Longinus. It will kill itself next turn, it's fine. I guess it's Whispers, but I don't mind too much. Okay. I see. Yeah, let's play the Hall of Rights here, because I want to get rid of that too, to be honest, so... Or do I need to delete that? Yeah, I do. So let's play Hall of Rights. Let's do this. Terra is not that great. That will suffice, I think. Eidolon, though. This should shut him down. Or at least his ability. That's a viral bomb. Yep. Well. Still okay. We're still even in health, so it's fine. Let's play Eidolon. Perfection every turn, boys. Ooh, okay. So I'm probably gonna Perfection Slide that, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Well, too bad. But it is as it is. But we got those Whispers to 10 already. I think we triggered that almost every turn. Besides 2. Vorax. Okay. Why not, I guess. Well, that works. Did I just Hammer of Justice? Nah, let's play Eutychus. Let's play Charmosian. Yeah, that's better, I think. And attack this one. Interesting deck, okay. Interesting deck. So if I play these, I want to stun over the Enhanced, to be honest. You're a assassin. Yeah, let's just use the Hammer of Justice here then. This is probably gonna get wrecked and ruined, but we will see. Siege Mastery. Okay. Into Gulk. That's pretty bad. But I got the 8-Chin here. Billing Side. Right of the Emperor. Let's get rid of that crap. And I'm gonna Fate Special to this one here, actually. So let's see, this is probably gonna be a Whispers game. This is probably gonna be time for the Rage Snake. That's fine. So, I could Whispers here, but I think this is more efficient. And then it's Warrior. I don't mind taking more damage. I don't mind if this... I want this to stick. Survivor 2, pretty good. I hope he didn't get Pride. I mean, the chances were 10%, I believe? A bit less. Okay. So here it's time... Yeah, it's time to Whisper. Yeah, it's time to Whisper. And let's clear the Doombringer. It's time to whisper. Again, precision bombardment. That's the fourth one, isn't it? Oh no, the third one. But the second one we got generated randomly. Face. Okay. Attrition warfare. Okay, you just got an Alpha Slider from the U-back. It's pretty good. Tadarian Terminators. Let's see, Alpha Slider. I'm gonna use my ability every turn here. So I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna draw a card, hopefully into Pride of the Emperor. Nope. Damn that, and oop. Let's just do this. The ability is so strong you really want to use it every turn once you got it. Viral bombs. Is this another precision bombardment? Fucking hell, dude! Give me a break. Okay. So, do this. Draw a card. Pride of the Emperor, please. Nope. And Terminators. Yeah, last three cards. Somewhere there is the Pride of the Emperor. Jesus. Okay, Attrition Warfare again. Hammer of Justice. Precision Bombardment on that. Okay. Do we have... Jesus Christ, or is it? That's not lethal. So I'm just gonna do this again. Hammer of Justice. And face. So if he doesn't heal, I got Informant work. Or consider it fire next turn. Jesus Christ, man. 14 was okay. Okay, that doesn't do much. Okay, interesting deck, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. And let's not BM him. We got a perfection here again, but let's just do this. Okay, interesting game. That was some very original Perturabo. Kharn. So here we're definitely not going for Whispers. Here we just want tempo. Yeah, without technical brilliance, I'm not gonna keep that. Eutychus is okay, I think. Yeah, we'll see. Auto cost is perfectly fine. Yes, 1000 demons. You kill, maim, burn, yes. Yes. Kill, maim, burn. Rah! Yes, you cut me in half, yes. Such a good boy. Such a cute little doggy. Oop. Ew! Oh. Is he gonna vent it? Yeah, okay. So, should I inform a network? I'm just gonna probably hit the chin here. And go face. He might unstun himself, we will see. I don't know point. I could have used it, but since I top deck the other chin. No, he has the unstun. God damn it. Okay. Wah! Wah! The pings, man. And face, yeah, that was to be expected. God damn it. Okay, that's always our cost. 1, 2, 3. He's part of the Emperor. Let's just do... should I play the Eutychus? Yeah, sure, why not? And last rifle. Okay, and we got faith, of course. We got the pride of the Emperor here in hand. Ah, man. Rah! Oh, that was a good one. And now? What now? Last rifle. Okay. This is a tough deck. But I think I could have also searched for Longinus. But yeah, good game, 1000 Demons. Few emotes! Too few, my good. Too few emotes. No. No, I wanted to be cool and I fucked it up. That were not enough emotes, what I wanted to say, or whatever. Yeah, that was cringe. I fucked up. I wanted to be cool, I wanted to be cocky and all that, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out. Although it was such a satisfactory victory. Anyway, boys, this should be it for the day. I think those games had this deck pretty well. You can either go fast, or you can either play the long game. Had a really good run here. To be honest, 4 wins in a row, like pretty, very solid and easy record session for me, so to say. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked the video. If you did, check out my channel. There's more stuff like that, deck guides, and don't forget to leave suggestions for the next deck guide or deck build in the comments. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. And until then, stay moist and mid-edit.